If you want to choose a dog that is cool, just watch out. Learn things that you didn't know. Just watch out. Build a game that we know and love. Just watch out. And follow what we outside. Just watch out. This is the Swag Show. Hello gamers, and thank you for tuning into this very special edition of Swag's Video Game Reviews. And today we will be taking a look at the brand spanking new DSi. Now, I was able to get one a little bit early because I am senior editor for GotGameWith2Ts.com. Please be sure to check out some of my videos that are on that website as well. And there are a lot of questions surrounding the DSi, such as, is it a replacement for the DS Lite? Is it worth the extra $50 compared to the DS Lite? Do the cameras work well? Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and we will explore some of those questions right now. But before we dive headfirst into the review, I want to show you guys really quick the box that the DSi actually came in. This is a box that was, I believe, special for just the media people here. So I don't think that it will be available to the general public, but it's kind of cool when you open it up. It's got some lights on there, a mirror, and it says, "You are the star of your Nintendo DSi." Pretty spiffy looking box, and you can see this here is the actual box that the game will actually come in right there. But I've got to say, this is definitely a pretty spiffy looking thing, nice piece of swag right here. And you know what? One more time. Thank you, thank you. No applause, just send money. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is do a little comparison between the DSi and the DS Lite. You'll notice that mine has a Guitar Hero on Tour sticker on there, so let's just go ahead and kind of ignore that for now. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the differences on the outside first. Now, you will notice that on the DS Lite, you still have the little two screen symbols right there where it has been removed for the DSi. You will also notice that there is a camera that is placed right here, which would be covering where this little Guitar Hero logo would be over there. Also one of the things I want you to notice is that there is a matte finish on the DSi, which means that it will not leave a whole bunch of sticky fingerprint messes, as you can see as what happens with the DS Lite. Now, holding these systems side by side, you might actually be able to tell that the DSi over here is actually a little bit more than 10% slimmer than the DS Lite. However, if you actually stack them on top of each other, it actually appears that the DSi on top is a little bit wider than the DS Lite. And I'm assuming that's because of the larger screens inside, which we will see in a moment. Looking at the side of the systems, you will notice that the headphone ports are in the exact same place. However, the volume button that is on the DS Lite has now been moved to the side on the DSi and is now actually buttons for raising and lowering the volume rather than just having one that slides back and forth. Looking at the other side of the system, you will also notice that the stylus port is in the exact same spot as well. However, the power button on the DS Lite has been moved to the inside of the system, and on the DSi has been replaced with an SD card slot. Now, one of the things you also may have noticed when we were looking at the side of the system is the fact that there is a slot right here for the Game Boy Advance games, which has been removed on the DSi, which means that you cannot play Game Boy Advance games on the DSi. Now that we've taken a look at the outside of the systems, let's go ahead and open them up and take a look at the inside. Now, immediately you will probably notice that the screen for the DSi is slightly larger than it is on the DS Lite. You will also notice that, when I told you before, the power button has been moved from the side on the DS Lite to the front on the DSi. Now, you can just tap the button and that will reset the system, or if you actually hold it down for 1 second, it will turn the system on and off. The D-pad and the buttons A, B, X, and Y, and both the start select are in the exact same place. Although it does seem that the directional pad on the DSi is lower to the actual surface of the gaming system, where here it is raised up more. Also new, you will notice that the power indicator lights have moved from the right side to the left side on the DSi and now are all properly labeled with the Wi-Fi, power, adapter, and the actual power of the system. The mic has been slightly moved from right in the middle of the DS Lite to slightly to the right, and has been replaced with a second camera in the middle for the DSi. I've turned off our bright light here so we can see what the systems look like when they are actually powered on. Now you can notice when you power both of them up side by side that they are almost exactly identical, although you notice with the DSi it has the eye where it is missing over here, and aside from the slightly larger screens. So let's go ahead and touch both screens and move on. Now you'll notice that with the DS Lite, when there is no card inserted, there are basically only two things that you can do. You can do a PictoChat, or you can do DS Download Play. When you come over here and look at the DSi, there's actually a multitude of other things that you can actually do. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. So first we have the system settings. The second here would be where there is a game slot inserted. We can slide over. This is for the camera. This is for sounds, where you can record sounds and then modify them. You also have the Nintendo DSi Shop. You have DSi Download Play, and you have Pic-to-Chat here. So you notice there's a lot more options that come standard within the memory of the DSi compared to the DS Lite. Then you'll also notice if you scroll over that there are a whole bunch of empty boxes, and this is for when you are accessing your SD card on the side there. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the biggest feature of the DSi here, which is the camera. Now you can choose either one of the two cameras that you want to take a picture. You can use either the one that is right here, or you can use the one that is facing this way. Now standard within the Nintendo DSi's memory, you can store a little bit over 400 actual pictures. Now later you can actually move them to your SD card if your memory in the DSi is full. Let's go ahead and access the camera. And right now, as you can see, it's facing the tripod that I am using to record this footage here. So if we wanted to go ahead and take a picture, you can see there's my hand there, and it does a pretty good job of not having too much delay between the movement of my hand and the actual capturing on the camera. So let's go ahead and take a picture. And it is going to go ahead and save it to our memory. Now, if we want to switch the picture, we can switch it to the camera that is in front, and again you can kind of see the camera in the background there, and then we can go ahead and again we can capture a photo. If we quit, we can actually go back and we can see all the different kinds of lenses that are available. So you can have a distortion lens, which you notice will bend things around. Here we have a graffiti lens where we can use it to kind of create a whole bunch of different effects or pictures on the camera. I'll kind of go through these faster. This is the color where you can actually bring out certain colors that you would like to add to it. So right now it's essentially kind of black and white. We can tap on that and we automatically access, we can see the desk behind me now has that wood grain effect. However, if you can notice, like right here, it is still black and white. Here's another effect called the color pad. I'm actually just going to scroll through the rest of these. This is a mirror image where you can create two of something back to back. This is a mischief one, which I can show you later. Emoter. Merge, where you can take two photos and merge them together. Resemblance, where you can take a photo of two faces. And the very last one, which is where you can make a frame. So let's go ahead and take a nice picture of that camera right there. So he is now the camera king. So after we take our picture, we can go back and we can look into our album. So let's go ahead and grab this picture right here. We can zoom in. You can add also different stickers. That way you can access them later. So if you add, say, green stickers to these, Then later you can go back and just access the view by sticker ones. And we can just see all the ones that were tagged with a little clover there. We can also edit pictures after we actually take them. So we can take this distortion one right here, and we can actually kind of move and squish it, take it and stretch it all in different directions. We can save it, and now we have a nice garbled mess of a picture. And again, with the color segment, we can pull out certain colors that we want to see within the picture. So if I want to pull out only the yellows, I can do that.